What's up guys, it's Mchanga back with another video. Today we're going to unbox and review the new Nvidia Shield TV standard model. We will cover the Pro model in an upcoming video, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. I'm not going to read off all the specs, but I'll leave them down in the video description if you want to check them out. A couple of notable changes from the 2017 model are the new Tegra X1 Plus processor and AI upscaling. Now with the AI upscaling, I will cover that in a little bit more detail later on in this video. Now the first thing you'll notice is the redesign of the standard Nvidia Shield TV. I like to call it the tube model and the brand new remote. In addition to the hardware, in the box you'll find some paperwork that includes your warranty information and a setup guide. You'll also find the power cable that does not include a power brick, so it doesn't occupy too much precious space. I think that's a major plus for most of us. Now moving on to the Shield TV itself. Pulling it out of the foam, it's a completely black round tube with ports on both ends. It does have the Nvidia logo nice and discreet on the side, also in black. This isn't a device I plan to prominently display on my entertainment center or TV stand, so the design isn't that big of a deal to me. It may matter to you though. On one end, you're going to have your power port and Ethernet port, which does support gigabit, and on the other end, you'll have your HDMI port, micro SD card slot, and sensor. If you want one big reason to upgrade, if you already have an older model like I do, I would say the new redesigned remote is definitely a great reason. In addition to being bigger with more usable physical buttons and the nice matte black finish, you can now use your standard AA batteries, even the rechargeable ones, without having to use a cable to recharge the remote. I always have a bunch of AA batteries in different drawers throughout my home and my office, so for me, this is just less of a hassle than it was before. Now you can just slide the back cover off and on to swipe out the batteries instead of digging for a legacy micro USB cable. It no longer has that unreliable touch sensitivity that many of us never really got used to, and this year it's backlit. I almost always watch movies in the dark, so that's a really welcome feature for me. There are no USB ports on this tube model, so if you want that expandability, you can pay only $50 more in the US and get the Pro version instead. If you use Plex, you definitely want to purchase the Pro model to use the Plex server functionality. Every device I mentioned in this video will be linked below in the description and listed on my Amazon homepage. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the initial startup screens and user interface. If you use an Android phone, setup is super fast and easy. All you have to do is share your Wi-Fi network and Google account. iPhone users can simply follow the on-screen prompts and sign into your Google account. While we're discussing the setup process, for those of you that don't currently use a VPN, I'll leave a link in the video description below to the one that I use and highly recommend. A VPN is a great way to protect your private information, and I don't stream on any of my devices without being connected to my VPN first. Whether it's one of the Shield TVs or Fire TV devices, laptops, or cell phones, you can browse safely and anonymously with a VPN. Now, during the configuration process, you'll have to agree to Google's terms of service as usual, and at this point, you can use your voice to set up the Google Assistant for voice control on the Shield. These steps will be the exact same on both the standard and the Pro models. At this time, you can also add your favorite apps, but if you don't, you can always add them later. More likely than not, you'll have an upgrade or two available for the Shield itself and the remote. I typically go ahead and do those right away since it only takes a few minutes, and most of the time they add new features and plenty of bugs are removed. But again, updates can be applied later just by visiting the settings. If you've already been using Android TV and you find it to be stable and familiar, you don't always have to upgrade just because there's one available. Now, these new Shield TVs are running Android 9.0 at the time of this recording, and it's been a smooth and pretty seamless experience. I haven't encountered any stuttering, freezing, lag, or buffering, but it's still the honeymoon period, so we will definitely revisit the overall performance in at least another month or so to get a clearer picture for longevity purposes. I don't really see any visual differences in the interface and how you use it when compared to the 2017 Nvidia Shield, but it is marginally snappier. That's something you can see while you're just browsing through the menu items. While we're using the interface, let's go ahead and take a brief look at the AI upscaling. You'll be able to appreciate the upscaling better on an actual TV or monitor as opposed to a small cell phone screen, but here's a quick demo with demo mode enabled. You can use the line that's going to be shown on the screen in the middle to scroll back and forth between basic and enhanced mode with medium or high detail. Again, these are options you can choose in the settings. You don't have to use the AI upscaling, but since it is available and if you're watching the older movies, you might want to just turn it on to see if it makes a difference for you. Nvidia offers many games, free and paid, that you can access on the Shield. I'm not a gamer, but the previous model included a game controller in the box. I'm not really sure why this one doesn't, but if you have the older model, you can use it with the new devices, or you can use an Xbox One controller, or even a PS4 controller. If you like the game, there isn't really a shortage of options right on the Shield TV, including the popular Fortnite. They look amazing on my 4K TV, and I didn't have any issues playing a few of them with my original Shield controller. Navigating through the pages and pages of games was a breeze, so I don't really have any complaints in that area. The Amazon Fire TV Cube also offers streaming and games, but for a more complete experience, I recommend the Shield TV. If you want a comparison between the two, let me know down in the comment section. Physically, the Shield TV Tube couldn't look any more different from the Shield TV Pro. Luckily, they both include the redesigned remote. Performance-wise, there isn't a significant difference since they both share the new Tegra X1 Plus processor. I'll toss up a couple of benchmarks if you're into that kind of thing. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the standard Shield TV does not have any USB ports. So if you want to use external hard drives or run a Plex server, you'll need to get the Shield TV Pro. I typically just use a little thumb drive to expand the memory since I don't run a Plex server and I don't play games on my Shield. I'm not sure why Nvidia decided on this design because just placing the Shield tube on a flat surface, it will roll, but I guess with more time, it'll grow on you. The star of the show for me continues to be the new remote. I know it's just a remote, but after using the previous touch model for so long, I can really appreciate this one. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comment section, hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and make sure you tap the bell icon to be notified every time I post. It's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.